Hi everyone, I'm Scott, and I got tagged by James, aka 1974's DVD Collector, or DVD Collector 1974, right. He's one of my buddies on the collab channel, the Movie Reviewers 100, and he did a behind-the-scenes video, basically providing a detailed look at his workspace and how he makes his videos. He was basically responding, he was tagged by another person, and there's a few people that have made these videos, such as Shannon and Forkerball, Ian, another guy in the collab channel. And so when he made his video, he tagged pretty much everyone who watched it. Anyone who watched the video has to make one like this. Or not, it's I guess up to you. But I wanted to do one, why not? So there's a series of 14 questions, some of which I'm going to consolidate and rearrange depending on what I think is basically a good way to go through all this right there. The first question is, where do you find the inspiration for your videos? And it's usually from other people. Either articles that I've read or just other YouTube videos. I got inspired to do YouTube in the first place, not by any film fans necessarily. People just did sort of like regular vlogs. Video blogs, as they say. One of the first guys I would watch was a guy named Zach, who did best of year videos, one video for each movie, and then he did director series on people like Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino, I think. He hasn't been on YouTube for a while, unfortunately, but I really like what he did, and his videos were very simple. Just the camera pointed at him and him talking uninterrupted, basically, for 10, 12 minutes, whatever it was, however long he wanted to expound for. And he wasn't the only guy I was watching, but around 2008, I was just like, you know what, I gotta start doing this. I gotta start making these videos because I enjoy them so much and I want to be able to share my own film recommendations as well. So that's what I've been doing. Around Thanksgiving or so of 2008, I got my first camera, much like the one I'm filming this one on right now. And started uploading videos, and the first year I basically had very few people watching me, but then I actually made an effort to seek out other people who were like myself, rather than just putting my videos out there and waiting for someone to discover, you know, this guy who liked movies. I went and sought out people who liked movies, and once they knew who I was, they started watching mine, and thus we have a community. Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot that I've read and talked about films. Excuse me, I've got a cold. That's better. I've had a cold since like Monday, and I'm just pretty much getting over it, but my throat is still a little messy. I had a guy actually a couple weeks ago make a video in which he invited people to send in what they thought was their best video, and he highlighted one of mine, which was really nice. So yeah, it comes from all different places, yeah, the biggest inspiration is I like talking about movies more than anything else, and so I want to talk about that, along with, of course, my favorite directors, actors, whatever. The second question is, do you have a Word document or notebook dedicated for ideas? I sure do. As a matter of fact, I have about 10 Word documents, one of which is for the Movie Reviewers 100. I have a list of all the themes that we're going to do, and I keep track of what each movie that everyone does. And that list actually includes all the videos that got deleted when we were hacked in 2011. They erased a bunch of our videos, but I still have a record of it on this Word document. And we have upcoming themes planned months in advance, so I'm always saying, okay, well, I could, you know, review that movie and just sort of put a possibility in there. But then all that data is then replaced by what we actually review, because I end up changing my mind too. I have a file dedicated to top 10 lists from each year, since going back to like the 90s. I have a top 10 list for every single year. And I recently discovered the site Letterboxd, and so I put top 10 lists on that as well. I also just created a Word file for Top 10 Tuesday. That's something that James and a few of his other friends are doing. He gave me a sneak preview of some of those themes, and so I'll be able to prepare some of those lists in advance. Although it's tough really just to go by genre sometime. I've got a Word file. I have my own Facebook page now. Because of the Google Plus nonsense, I really can't comment on people's videos But I've set up a Facebook page for my videos and for my channel where people can comment and everything like that. And I change the banner picture every single day, and so I've got a list basically of all the photos from the web that I've downloaded to my laptop that I can then upload one day at a time, depending on what I want to highlight. I did sort of 10 videos on my 10 favorite movies of the year. Right now I've got a series of Ellen Page videos up on there because she came out of the closet and I want to celebrate that. And when Philip Seymour Hoffman passed away, I did like 2 weeks of pictures from his various films. I've done a couple of contests. I have a Word file devoted to each of them based on what the rules are and how and the entries and everything like that. I just transfer all that to a Word file so I wouldn't have to worry about YouTube going down and me not being able to access that info. I do a video every year which I talk about my most anticipated movies. So I keep a Word file on all the films that are being made or are about to be made or about to come out. And I'll erase them as movies come out, erase the entries as movies come out. It's just a simple Word file. It's a list with the title of the movie and the director and the principal cast, the actors that I'm interested in. Whenever I read about some new movie being made online, whenever I read online about a new movie being made, I'll make a note of it on that file if it interests me. I've also got a file not only for the collab channel, what we're going to do, but also all the themes that we've done, just to help keep track of it, rather than go through this huge long file with each individual film and just have a brief summary of all the themes that we've done already, sorted by either actor, actress, director, or genre, what have you. And of course I have a file on the films that I have done and plan to do for my 1973 series. So yeah, that's about 10 different files on on videos that I could do or have done for YouTube. And that's not including, of course, videos that I thought about doing at one point but never got around to. I wanted to do a whole series of videos in which I memorize and recite other people's YouTube videos, just do the entire thing. That got to be a little complicated. I did one of them, and it was really tough. First of all, memorizing all that stuff word for word and then trying to repeat it in one unbroken take, really, really tough. So I only did the one. It turned out okay, but yeah, I wasn't going to do many of those. How do you prepare for a video? Well, sometimes I have notes. Sometimes I'll write down a little card, like this one, some notes about what I'm doing, and I'll read off of that, or I'll write a notebook page, basically. Or I'll make a printout like this right here. These are all the questions, basically, that I have. I just basically copied them and put them into a Word document and then printed them up so I can just read off of that rather than reading off the screen. Also up here I've got the top 10 Westerns for the Top 10 Tuesday that I just did the other day. Yeah, this is very handy. I can just refer to that very easily. But as far as what I want to say, sometimes I do need to write down a few notes. Sometimes those don't help. When I do an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, I'm writing down notes as I'm watching the episode. Usually this is the second time I watch the episode, but oftentimes I find myself skipping around and not really speaking coherently about the episode. I have to improve my technique there. But other times, if I'm just doing a review for the collab channel, I can just talk off the top of my head because I'm usually talking about a movie that I've already given a great deal of thought to. And when I did Brokeback Mountain a few weeks ago, I had a lot to say about the subject matter and about the cultural implications of the film rather than the movie itself. But luckily, all those things that I wanted to say seemed to come out more or less in the right order. So that video turned out really well. But yeah, so I don't really script, but I'll have notes I might refer to, especially if it's a 1973 movie I'm not familiar with a lot of the actors or what have you. But for the most part, yeah, if it's a movie I'm really familiar with, I can just talk off the top of my head because I've already devoted a lot of time to it. There was actually a contest that I did called the YUM Contest, Your Ultimate Movie Contest. And I actually was working at the time, and I'd actually come up with the idea for the contest. And as I was just going about my routine, I managed to figure out what all the rules and all the conditions of the contest would be over the course of one day, and then got home and wrote it all down. So that's like, sometimes they're just like a burst of inspiration, like, oh, I've got this great idea and I just have to do it. But aside from that, it's just basically me just winging it. This is my flip camera. It is not a camera that shoots in a 16:9, but I think the image quality is pretty good, and the sound quality is certainly better than the original version that I had. Whereas the older model flip that I had took about 2 minutes to upload a 4-minute video. This one takes 8 minutes, but I think that's because of the improved picture and sound quality. Yeah, it doesn't shoot in 16:9, but still I get a good range basically of image area. I think that some 16:9 cameras, despite their high picture quality, actually will mask off the top and the bottom of the image in order to get that shape. Whereas, you know, improved picture quality isn't necessarily reliant on the shape of the image. It just does that to fill the 16:9 frame that is most common. It's got a little plug in the side right here. Basically, I use that to put it directly into my computer. Darn it. What is the angle right there? I just have such a hard time doing this. Oh, man. Shooting in a mirror is not easy. Yeah, because that tile back there was sort of interfering with your ability to see this plug right here, because the background's blue and this part's blue, whatever. But I plug that directly into my laptop, and I upload to my laptop, and then I can cut it down or pretty much upload it raw straight to YouTube. How often do you pre-film videos? Not too often. This video I'm pre-filming. I don't know exactly when I'm going to upload it, very soon, but it has a few different parts to it, and so as you can see, it has a few different parts to it. So I don't know exactly when I'll be uploading it, but I'll have to basically chop the video that I'm shooting slightly and then cut it together, either on YouTube itself or in my computer and then upload it, depending on how I want to do that. So yeah, it may be a couple days before I'm actually putting this online. It's Wednesday today, so I may have this up on Thursday or Friday, I'm not really sure. But normally when I make a video, I upload it that day. You know, if it's something topical, something I want to address right away. I want to do an Ellen Page video, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it because I was still trying to work out my top 5 favorite Ellen Page movies. So the answer is not often, but occasionally. Actually, there is an upcoming theme on the collab channel for Kevin Bacon, and so I asked a friend of mine to film an intro for me. We did this last summer, and the Kevin Bacon video is not until March, so I filmed that one way in advance. So yeah, it depends. It just depends. How long does it take you to prepare for your appearance in a video? Well, you know, I tend to look at myself in the mirror, make sure that I don't have any unsightly blemishes, and if I do, I'll postpone making the video. Hair is sticking on my ears or my nostrils, I'll try and fix that. Sometimes for a special occasion, I'll make sure that my hair is freshly cut. Yeah, oftentimes I'll remove my glasses when I'm talking, just because I think I look better. Not that my appearance matters much in a video, which is basically about what I'm saying, but, you know, I need my glasses basically to read or to see anything at all. So the only way I can really, you know, see the camera is by the red dot, really. And there's a black space next to the red dot, which is the lens, so that's how I know where to look with that. But for a video like this, I need to have them on in order to read. What time of day do you usually film? I like to film in the daytime, morning usually, when nobody else is around. I have a light here which helps some, but most of the light I get, it comes from the window over here. Yeah, no studio lights or anything professional like that. But the image quality is pretty good, so on the camera, so it usually comes out okay. This here is the dining room. It's where I shoot most of my videos. As you can see, we keep it in pristine, spotless condition. And it's in kind of an old building, so we use these radiators for heat, but they're not really consistent. And so my bedroom, which is back there, is not the best place to spend hours web surfing because it can get too cold or too hot in the summertime. So I tend to do all that stuff out here. Nobody really eats in the dining room, so I've sort of made this my workspace right here. So this is where I sit basically when I make my videos. The computer's right there. I set the tripod right on the floor, right by this chair, and what you see basically is just that with my face. That's pretty much how it works. My computer, along with a few other interesting things like a mouse and my phone and a case for the camera and headphones and a few other personal items, you know, note cards and things like that that I use sometimes when making videos. And there's some moisturizer, and there's a box of Band-Aids and my watch and a 5-hour energy drink from the Chataway Challenge, which I never used. And there's some caramels, which were a gift at Christmas. And this trinket right here was a gift at Thanksgiving. And this is my notebook. This is a page of notes that I wrote down while I was looking at an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode. And here are some notes on favorite actors and actresses for a Top 10 Tuesday video from a while back. Here we've got some notes that I made on World on a Wire, which is a movie that I reviewed for my 1973 series. This is the tripod that I use when I make my videos. If I'm not using the tripod, I have to balance it on something flat, like the the dining room table, like I'm doing now. I have the head preset to the right angle. The only thing I need to do then is to extend it here at the top and extend the legs one time, like so, and it's immediately the correct height for filming at the table. When I'm doing one of the live hangouts, either on my own or with the collab channel, I usually shoot here. This is basically where I, watch most films. That's an old TV. It doesn't work. This is a new TV that does. I just haven't gotten rid of this one yet. DVD player, of course, cable box, and this is the Wi-Fi router and modem that I use. Normally I shoot all my videos and upload them, or not upload them, but just web surf in the dining room where I have, basically my whole setup. But if I am doing a hangout, I'll come in here because the signal is much better. And when I'm uploading a video, I'll basically just bring my laptop in here. For the few minutes it takes to upload, because the signal is much stronger, the upload time is much quicker. You can, with Comcast, basically get your own modem and router, but you have to pay every month to kind of lease it. So I'm like, screw that, I'm not doing that. I got my own modem and router here, which are mine. Also, instead of using the flip camera, I will use this little webcam right here. It has a magnetic back on it, so I can mount it on a stand. And I use that basically when I'm doing one of the hangouts. It's very unsophisticated. The picture quality is very poor, but then it doesn't really need to be. I have a good mic that I use for that, so everyone can hear me. While we're here, I might as well show you one of my DVD racks right there. There's Love Stalker right there, right by Miller's Crossing, and there's a few other choice titles right there, and down over here, got the rest of it. I prefer the racks that have a setup where you can look at them without having to turn your head, the titles on the spines. Next question, how do you edit your videos? What do you use? The flip camera that I use has a piece of software that you can use to cut videos together. I don't use it very frequently. When I did the Chataway Challenge, I basically shot a little bit of video of each film that I was watching and then cut them together with some music, and I use the flip software for that. The other alternative to that is to use something already on my laptop. I'm not even sure if I have it because I haven't used it. Or you can upload clips one at a time to YouTube and then use the YouTube video editor to splice them all together, arrange them in a sequence and splice them all together. You just have to pre-cut each shot. Make sure that it's the correct length, and then make sure they're in the correct order, and then it'll put them together for you. That's convenient, especially if I want hard cuts, because my flip software only does dissolves from one clip to another. And if I want hard cuts, so I have to make up my mind about how I'm going to do that. For this video, I haven't decided yet. How long are your unedited videos before you scale them down? Normally I don't. Normally what you see in a video of me is just basically the raw footage, basically. You can see me reach out and stop the camera at the end of the video because, it's just one of those things where I don't want to take the time. If it's just me talking, I've done some public speaking in the past, and so if I'm on my game, I can just basically expound on whatever it is, and then that'll just be the video. I don't need to cut. I make mistakes, I stammer, what have you, say the wrong thing, whatever. But yeah, that's just part of what makes me a human being. And so I sort of leave that alone. I don't cut up videos very often at all, even trim them much. Just because when I do that, they take a little bit longer to upload. The raw clip all by itself takes less time. And I'm kind of a no-frills kind of person. I like to have, music and a cool title sequence and everything like that. I actually thought up a great title sequence for my channel, in which I basically wear the costumes of several different movie characters that I like. But that would take a lot of planning and a lot of work, and you know, I just don't feel like it. It was a nice idea, but I just don't feel like it. How many times do you try and film per week? Well, I make at least 2 videos per week nowadays. I do one for the Collab channel, and since I've been making Top 10 Tuesday videos, I make one video for Tuesday and one for Thursday. That's when I do my Collab channel videos. But aside from that, it's really up to me. I mean, I could do like 3 1973 videos in 1 week. I could do none. I could do a contemporary movie review. I could do any kind of topic or whatever. I could have an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode up. It really depends. There's no real average that I can think of. It's a minimum of 2 per week, but sometimes it can be more than that. And finally, how long will a typical video take from setting up the equipment to uploading? Well, a typical video, as I said, is uncut. So it takes me just a few minutes to set up the camera and get in a position here, and then I talk, basically. I might have a false start and start over again, but for the most part, I'm talking for basically 8 to 12 minutes or so on average. And then I stop the camera and I plug it right into the laptop, upload it to my laptop, bring the laptop into the room where the router is, the Wi-Fi router, upload it, and then add all the little information to the description, choose the thumbnail, what have you. I may also separately upload it to Facebook if I want people just to be able to watch it on Facebook without having to go to YouTube to watch it, because I want them to comment on Facebook, of course. And all that could take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. James takes much longer to make his videos, much longer. He throws in, you know, pictures and images and has, you know, separate clips and what have you. Me, I'm really very no frills. So there you are. That is it. Hopefully I found a place to include the shot of my tripod. We'll see. Thank you for watching, and appreciate it. I hope you found this interesting. Later.